Welcome to Blood in the Snow Radio, where we give you the latest news and interviews with the best in Canadian genre cinema. Here are your hosts, Robert Bellamy and Festival Director Kelly Michael Stewart.
We are getting to the end of Blood in the Snow 2023. This is Friday, so one day left. But you have come in to have a seat and chat with me, and I'm so glad. Thank you. If you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Rogelio Rodriguez. I go by Roger here with all my friends. And yeah, I just arrived here yesterday. I couldn't stay here from the very beginning of the festival. Yeah, it's
a long time to commit to a festival.
Yeah,
but and your project is Cold Light.
Yeah, it's called Cold Light. It's a short film, and it's showing tomorrow, Saturday. It's a 17-minute short film, so I needed a little bit more time to be scheduled, I guess. Yeah.
Where did the idea for that film come from? Because it's brilliantly laid out.
Yeah. So the idea is mainly focusing on how we address people, the intolerance that we have towards the rest of the people, just by thinking differently or by looking differently, by even speaking differently. I am from Mexico, so I always had this kind of approach to stories, like how I face cultures, being in a different culture, coming from a different culture, how we all think differently, and we should all be respectful, how we all think about it. And that it all started like that, just like the intolerance, and then of course putting a layer on top of fantasy and yeah.
Because that was the fun thing. Watching the projects for the film festival, it's fun because it's cold.
Yeah.
Marvel movies, you have 17 trailers, so the movie.
Yeah.
When you're watching your short films, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So you start watching it, and there's one idea you're thinking, oh, I see what's going on.
Yeah.
Because she's a different race or ethnicity, she's getting attacked. But then you take that twist.
Yeah.
Was it difficult to come up with that twist idea to put into the story?
To be honest, no. It kind of started from there. So I kind of started from the back, right, from the very end, and then I started building it up. And I knew the topic that I wanted to face, but then when that ending came up to mind, it was just easier to lay out everything. Yeah, so.
And the computer work was great.
Oh, yeah.
I won't talk too much about what is actually computerized, but it's so detailed.
Yeah. So I work in a VFX studio, so I kind of have the experience from there, and I knew exactly what to look for or how to set it up on set. I knew exactly what I needed to do. So yeah,
it's your project, so you're going to give it a little more TLC than normal. Yes, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
How was casting with that too? Because the cast was really good.
Yeah, so I took different approaches. One of them was actually Instagram. I was just stalking people on Instagram, like
it works.
Yeah, looking what they've been doing, and then just asking around. I also went through Breakdown. I think it's called Breakdown Casting. It's just a platform that you just go there and then you just put out there the project, and then you receive some casts, some people, some suggestions, and some pre-taping exercises, things like that. So that's how I went through it. I just went each role one by one, just looking for them. So yeah.
Excellent. Was there any hiccups in filming?
Yeah, for sure. The very first days when we shot the part that we needed to be more like a sunrise. But then we started really late, and then we lost light because we were doing it during sunset, right? So, and then we couldn't get it. It was pretty dark, and I wasn't happy with it. So we tried to schedule it for the last day, and then that day it was again sunset. We were on time and everything, but then hail just came down really, really bad, and we couldn't do anything like for an hour and a half. And I was just like, okay, we will need to probably push this for sunrise, so extending that day. But of course, that will mean more cost and everything. And then at some point, when I was telling everybody we are gonna push it, the sky just cleared out, like instantly. So weird, and light just came in, and it was beautiful. It looked beautiful. So we had like an hour of light, half an hour of light, and we did it just there. and it's looking amazing. It's the last part of the film,
like
and it looks really nice.
A sign from above.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I was about to die there, but then it just cleared out. Yeah, it was like a sign. Yeah.
Oh, that is excellent.
Yeah.
So now you said you are in the VFX area. Is that like your day job?
Yeah. That's what I do. For a living, let's say, to pay the bills. But yeah, sometimes focusing on projects that are probably big blockbusters that everybody is watching, focusing on those shots, sometimes it triggers you to some other ideas that mean more to you, right? And then that's how I started doing my own stories. Like back in university, I did that, but I kind of left it on the side for a while, and then probably 7 years ago is when I started picking it up again, doing my own thing.
What was it that pushed you back off the bench?
Because I started in filmmaking. I started in advertising, and then I wanted to focus on computers, right? Like computer graphics and all that, because I thought movies eventually are going to be made in computers. So I needed to learn that part, and I went full into that, right? So I became a professional on that side on full CG and VFX and all that. So I think that's what kind of pushed the other part a bit on the side, and I tried to pick it up like 7 years ago. Yeah.
And you just said, what was the first one that you did?
So the first short film that I did, like more like a professional way, not like in school, it was probably 6 years ago, and it's more like a drama. It's not a genre movie, but it still has like this sort of surrealistic type of or metaphorical ideas that is not that clear for some people. Everybody that sees that watches it asks me, so what does it mean at the end? What happened at the end? Blah blah blah. I leave it open to interpretation. It has a lot of metaphors, so I always like it that, and I always play with this type of differences, human differences, like just not accepting the human as they are. I find it fascinating, and I think from there, all the problems in human history are coming from.
And that would be cool to leave as an open-ended short. Because art is interpretive already.
Yeah, exactly.
And you put the human element into it.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So what drives you when you do make film? Like, is it just an idea, or is it the fun of the filming? Well, like, what is your passion there?
Yeah, to tell a story. I think that's part of everybody, right? Like, we all want to tell stories in different ways, like in a podcast, for example, right? Or in a book, we have different ways. And I think the way I like to tell stories is visually. I never saw myself as a writer. When I was learning all this craft, I never saw myself as a writer. And then my situation forced me to start writing. And now I love it, right? Because I think I start seeing the images from the script, and then they end up being in the screen, and that's to me fascinating. Just to be able to put in the screen what I actually saw in my mind, it's amazing. Yeah, it's great.
What is your thoughts then on virtual, like computer versus practical? And I ask because we know there's a little bit of virtual at the end.
Yeah.
But there's that one piece in the middle with a glowing object. Again, I'm not going to say much because I don't want to give everything away.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a practical effect or not.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, do you prefer physical effects when filming, or do you like the virtual?
Yeah, there's this narrative about it lately, even in blockbuster movies, right? That it's either one or the other. I don't see it that way. I think they live together. They need to complement each other. And for example, that is a practical effect.
It was practical.
Yeah. But then I use it as a reference for other effects that happen to match it up, right? So, and that's what happens, even big productions, right? Like you take Stranger Things, for example. They keep saying, oh, the monster is all practical. It is, but it isn't, right? It was practical, but it needed enhancement. And that enhancement couldn't happen if you didn't have the practical on set with the proper lighting and all that as a reference, right?
It's like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because those eyes are all animated.
Exactly. Yeah. exactly.
Okay.
So you always need that reference on set with the lighting on that set, just to see how a feather looks like, right? And then from there you just create the virtual part. Yeah.
And the computer work is sometimes done where you don't even notice.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
literally, I'm shooting a web series and a friend is digitally taking a phone number off a phone.
Exactly. Yeah.
You won't notice that on
Yeah.
screen.
It's the invisible VFX. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is very much a marriage between practical and
Yeah.
visual.
Yeah, I think it's really needed. Like we, as a visual effect person in a computer, we always need that reference. Otherwise, we start from a blank piece of paper, right? Like how do we do this? And then you need to go back and look for references in YouTube or things like that, right? So why not having it in the real set that you were shooting and with the real lighting that you were using there? Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing something like George Lucas, say, like Phantom Menace, where everything in the background is digital and only the actors are real?
No, not really. No, I think it needs to live together. Like at least the closest things around the actors need to be real, so they can. I really support the actor's job, and I think they need some sort of motivation to work with. If they are just surrounded by green screens and props, wrap it up with green color, then yeah, I don't think that will work. Yeah.
Any projects on the horizon?
Yeah, I'm working on a pilot for a series. I'm in the second draft right now. That's not as gender as I will expect, but I'm starting to put some things there, and that's how it all starts, right? You start putting some layers. Another short film that's totally gender, and a feature. Yeah, so.
Oh, a full feature.
Yeah. So I need to be working back and forth in different projects, otherwise you just get stuck, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to exercise the brain and keep everything moving.
Yeah, and I'm still not considering myself as a writer, so I'm slowly building them up, right? So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the festival. The short was amazing.
Oh, thank you very
I loved
much.
it.
Thank you.
And anytime you want to come back and chat more, please let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Join us next time for Blood in the Snow Radio. Bits Radio is a production of Three Evil Cats Productions in association with the Blood in the Snow Canadian Film Festival. For more information and to listen to other episodes, visit bloodinthesnow.ca and tweet us at BitsFilmFest. Music by Jen Gorman, produced and edited by Kelly Michael Stewart. I am Eduardo Correa Lima.